Hello, this is Khoi Pham, and this is my final video project for Mr. Lewis's AP Statistics class, and this video will be on one sample t intervals. Okay, first I'm going to talk about the difference between the normal model and the t model. The normal model, the standard deviation of the population is known, and therefore the 68, 95, 99.7 rule will apply. But with the T model, the standard deviation of the population is not known, and the degrees of freedom changes the variability, so therefore the 68, 95, 99.7 rule doesn't apply to it. I am now going to sketch an example of the difference between a normal model and a T model with 2 degrees of freedom. The normal model is drawn in red while the T model is drawn in blue. As you can see, the normal model has its data more spread out, while the T model with only 2 degrees of freedom has most of its data put into the center of the distribution, and as you can see, its tails are flatter. Now, in regards to what exactly a one sample T interval is used for, it's to find an interval where the true mean of the population might lie. This interval can get bigger or smaller according to what confidence level you choose to use. Now, with the one sample T interval, there are assumptions and conditions. Besides the independent assumption, there is a randomization condition which suggests that your data must be taken from a random sampling. The 10% condition states that the sample must be less than 10% of your population, and the nearly normal condition states that the data must come from a distribution that is unimodal and symmetric. Now I'm going to talk about how exactly to do a one sample t interval. The equation for a one sample t interval is y bar plus or minus t star times the standard error of y bar. Y bar is the mean of the sample. The standard error of y bar is the standard deviation of the sample over the square root of the sample size, and t star sub n minus 1 is the critical value. Now I'm going to specify how exactly to find a critical value on a calculator. First you press distribution, which is second plus vars. Then you go down to number 4, which will be inv t. You have to enter your sea level plus its tails divided by 2. So for example, if you had a 95% confidence interval, you'd have to enter 97.5 or 0.975. Then you enter a comma, then enter your degrees of freedom. And your degrees of freedom is your sample size minus 1. So for example, if you wanted to find the critical value of a problem that needed a 90% confidence interval with the sample size of 10, you would put inv t 0.95 comma 9 close to the parentheses, and your answer would be 1.833. So here's an example. Let's say you are trying to find the true mean of the amount of apples in each tree on a field, and you get a sample of trees, and the mean you get are 24 apples. And let's just use the sample size of 10 and the confidence interval of 90 so we can use the critical value we just got earlier. So you would do 24 plus or minus 1.833 times the standard error, which would be 5 over the square root of 10, and the confidence interval you would get is 21.1 and 226.9. So you would say that I am 90% confident that the true mean of the amount of apples in each tree on the field is between 21.1 and 26.9 apples. So now I'm going to explain how to find a one sample t-interval on a calculator with a set of data. First, you're going to have to enter all the data into list 1. Then you're going to have to check the nearly normal condition by checking the normality on stat plot. Then you're going to have to go to stats, then to the test menu, and choose number 8, which is listed as t-interval. Then you have to choose the input as data, and then you have to enter the sea level, and then you must press calculate. Now to do a one sample t-interval on the calculator without a set of data, you must first go to stats, then the test menu, choose number 8, which is t-interval, choose input stats. You must enter the sample mean, the sample standard deviation, sample size, and the confidence interval you're trying to achieve, and then you must press calculate. And that's all I have on one sample t-interval today. Bye!